Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly remarkable through a beautifully poetic account of a character named Amina. Picture this. She steps away from the artificial, buzzing glow of her town, walking out into a quiet field on a perfectly clear night. And what she discovers out there is this profound, deeply personal connection between the unfathomable vastness of the cosmos and the small, ordinary moments of our daily lives. As you'll see, shifting our perspective outward like this can actually help us find a much stronger, more resilient sense of meaning right here on Earth. Let's get into it. To really understand Amina's mindset as she looks up, we need to start with a childhood memory that grounds this entire experience. Lying back on the cool, damp grass, feeling her own smallness against that immensity above, she remembers a night when her father lifted her up. He pointed at a sudden streak of light slicing through the dark and told her, "That's a story passing by." This memory beautifully establishes that, for Amina, the sky is never just empty space. It's an active, vast, listening thing, literally spilling over with distant fires, each holding its own long, unfolding story. It quietly invites us to just stop and listen to the universe's soft hum. So let's jump right into part one, a sky full of stories, or the intimate universe. This is where things get really interesting, showing a dramatic shift in her perspective. See, Amina had previously thought of the universe as, well, kind of like a remote lecture. Cold academic, just sterile numbers, distant dates, and lifeless diagrams. But under the real, unpolluted sky, space suddenly becomes an intimate, strange, and highly emotional reality. She realizes she isn't just looking at data. She's looking at ancient light that is older than entire human nations, reaching her eyes as gentle, exhausted echoes. She sees planets glowing like quiet promises, and she imagines nebulae out there wearing the fierce, beautiful colors of storms and dreams. And taking this intimate reality a step further, Amina begins to imagine the secret lives of the stars. Think about the stories they might tell one another across the void. She thinks of the quiet gossip of interacting galaxies pulling at each other, the long letters that comets seem to send when they pass through our solar system, and the patient mapping of pure loneliness into massive cosmic clusters and filaments. In this moment, time isn't a straight line rushing forward. It's more like a deep river folding back on itself, carrying everything she's ever been and might become, all reflected in these poetic interactions happening quietly above us. Moving right along to part two, translating the cosmos and the architecture of time.
Now imagine traveling outward with Amina, not in a metal rocket. Actually, scratch that. Just traveling as a thought. She leaves Earth's delicate blue ribbon behind, passing by the moon to observe its ancient, quiet scars. Her mind skims past the violent storms of Jupiter and the rings of Saturn, which she imagines clinging together like distant glass beads in the dark. Finally, she reaches the fragile atmospheres of distant exoplanets, these tiny blue dots that might just cradle breath. And as she completes this mental journey, she can't help but wonder, is someone or something on one of those dots looking back up, pondering the exact same circuitous questions about belonging?
Then she snaps back to Earth for a second because a flashing satellite traces a clean, human line across the sky. And this gets her thinking about the great translators of the cosmos, brilliant minds like Edwin Hubble, reading galaxies like ancient script, and Vera Rubin, who somehow managed to see the invisible, ghostly tug of dark matter. And in the present, that flashing satellite is proof that human curiosity has literally left Earth's surface to keep company with the stars. These scientific pioneers act as lanterns along a paved path, helping us find meaning, scale, and a shared language in the overwhelming dark of space. So here is the really crucial realization that washes over her. The universe cradles beginnings and endings with the exact same indifferent care. As Amina pictures time's long household, dusty stellar nurseries where new stars are violently born, right next to regions where ancient stars are quietly cooling, she realizes the universe is totally generous in its impartiality. It plays absolutely no favorites. And honestly, she finds an immense, unexpected comfort in that. Her own endings and small life events are just a minor alteration in a massive tapestry she belongs to, even if she can't control the whole weave. Which brings us perfectly to part three, scale, humility, and space, looking at the comfort of scale. Right in the middle of this deep, cosmic daydream, something incredibly mundane happens. Her phone buzzes in her pocket. It's bright, it's urgent, full of schedules and those small daily emergencies. She lets it wait. But that buzzing prompts a huge question. How do we measure human meaning against the universe's shadow? Suddenly, the urgent things feel incredibly thin compared to the slow, steady music of the cosmos above. She feels wonder, a bit of fear, and this deep grief for undone things. These feelings seem almost too small for the sky, yet miraculously, the sky seems to make space for them anyway.
And this sparks a massive psychological shift that we can call cosmic humility. It's basically about softening the sharp edges of our own pride. It's recognizing that our problems, no matter how urgent they feel to us right now, are likely completely invisible to the cosmos's patient ledger. What's absolutely fascinating about this duality is that realizing your problems aren't invisible to the universe can do one of two things. It can completely hollow you out with despair, or it can fill you up with an overwhelming sense of freedom and relief.
Well, Amina chooses to be filled up. She realizes the immense scale of the universe isn't out there to mock or diminish her problems. It's there to show her that there is an incomprehensibly vast space to hold them. If the universe has room for literal exploding stars and single human hearts, then there is definitely space for her flawed plans and sudden joys. It's this incredibly beautiful, centering realization that our humanity, with all its messiness, errors, and fleeting triumphs, fits perfectly within the grand cosmic architecture. And just then, as if on cue, the universe punctuates the thought. Just one solitary, tiny grain of rock burns a brief, luminous arc across the sky. For a suspended second, it just splits the night open. It's gone before she can even make a wish, but you know what? The wish doesn't even matter. What matters is the awe-inspiring fact that just one tiny grain of rock blazed across an unfathomable distance simply to meet her view at that exact fleeting moment. That transient, entirely accidental meeting, it felt like meaning enough to anchor a lifetime. Let's bring it all together now in Part 4, the promise of presence and the daily practice. Before finally heading home, she looks up one last time and traces the pale river of the Milky Way in the air. She's connecting her own internal cartography to the universe above, picturing a distant future. She imagines future travelers, maybe even kids born on ships curving through space, who will read these exact same stars the way ancient sailors used to read the ocean tides. They'll tell new myths or discover old human truths translated into new instruments. It instantly connects her small, isolated moment in that field to the grand, ongoing continuum of human exploration. Walking back toward the glow of her town, the artificial lights feel a lot less intrusive now. She hits on this idea that the universe possesses a unique kind of empathy. Now, it's not moral empathy. The universe definitely isn't concerned with human concepts of right and wrong or fairness. But structural empathy? Absolutely. The cosmos is this enormous, enduring experiment in persistence. It has dark places and brilliant ones, but most importantly, its architecture inherently allows things to begin, to end, and to be beautifully renewed. It gives us time for both human error and human repair. Back in her room, Amina places a simple glass of water on her windowsill, watching the moonlight ripple inside it like a tiny sky she can actually touch. She doesn't sit down and write some grand, dramatic manifesto. No way. Instead, she just makes a small, quiet promise to herself. She promises to notice more around her, to be truly present at the small intersections where her life touches others, and crucially, to carry the patient scale of the cosmos with her when making decisions of the heart. It's simply a choice to occasionally align herself with the vastness she just witnessed. In the days that follow, Amina keeps looking up, finding that the night sky always whispers back. Look, the universe owes us absolutely nothing. It has no obligation to console us. And yet it freely offers a perspective that turns our sharpest anxieties into manageable, quiet truths. For Amina, that was enough. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. When you feel overwhelmed by the urgent buzzing of your daily life today, how will you carry the patient scale of the cosmos in your own brief human heart?